Hi, Emerald. It was such a pleasure to play with you on Friday at the Temple in the Big Kids game, not the kiddie game that you've been playing in. So thanks for joining me. It was so much fun, and I always tailor these videos towards the player's experience level that I played with. And so Emerald is not a junior, but she's younger than I am, so that makes her a junior basically in bridge. I asked her, I said, "Are you 29 years old?" And she smiled. So we're going to go with that. All right. And it was a lot of fun. Um, for those who don't know, Emerald has, I don't know, maybe 20 master points, but she's soaking things up like a sponge, and it's going to get on a quick progression upwards, which is great. So a few of the things we talked about at the game, a couple of the real costly type of errors that are going to be easily cleaned up are simple stuff like playing third hand high, especially at trick one. When we lead our suit against their no trump contract or their suit contract, and we want to build our tricks. You When you see two or three little cards in the dummy and you're third to play, you just have to play your highest card, the ace. If your highest card is two touching cards, then you play the lower one, which if anytime you play a high card, it denies the card just below it. That's sort of a little convention type thing that allows each defender to better assess the cards their partner does or does not hold. So that happened a couple times, and of course we chatted about it at the game, and I know you cleaned that up quite easily. Of course, if the dummy has like the queen and you have the king 10, you would put in the 10 because you know that in the suit contract, I opening leader does not have the ace if they lead a low card in against a suit contract. So if declare plays low card from the dummy and the dummy has the queen and you have the king 10, you put in the 10, hoping that if your partner has the jack, the 10 is going to force the ace. Going up with the king is going to give the declarer the ace and the queen and the jack in their hand if they have it as well. So that's a little one. So I'm going to go through just a few hands here, and again, it's tailored towards Emerald's experience level. So some good things and some bad things that you did. So first off, I want to say one really good thing, and a lot of the players in that room, which is probably the best club game in Toronto, they wouldn't be doing this every hand. But at the end of one deal, we were just casually discussing it with all four people at the table, and you said to me that, hey, when the dummy came down, I knew that you had between 4 and 6 points. And just saying that and working that out and doing that on every hand will make you a better bridge player very quickly, because when you start to piece more information together, not just what cards are played, but clues from the bidding, and then piece together, pieces of the puzzle. It's going to make your bridge life a lot easier. You're going to be able to eliminate so many possibilities when you're thinking of what the various hands could look like. And it's just going to make it much easier to put together the picture of the entire deal. So that was amazing. That was great. So a few hands here. This one here was interesting. And this was another positive. So you sat east, and this was your hand. They opened three hearts on your left, and it went all pass. Generally, when they preempt 2 or 3 level and it goes all pass, you would expect, number one, that you you and your partner probably have some length in trumps, because if you didn't and the opponents had a big fit, either they would be bidding game, or if you guys didn't have many trumps between you, you guys would be entering the bidding. Um, so you would expect when it goes like three hearts all pass that the dummy is probably going to be reasonably strong and perhaps not a lot of hearts. So against a preempt like that, you tend to want to lead aggressively if you're on opening lead. You want to find a sequence. You want to find an aggressive lead away from a king or a queen, something like that. You could even potentially lead an ace, although we usually don't like leading aces alone against suit contracts. We like to have them backed up by the king. So this was your hand. And you ended up leading a trump, the 10 of trumps. So we discussed how a singleton trump lead, when the opponents may have a fit or may have an 8 card or 9 card fit, is a very dangerous lead. It quite often will pick up the suit for the opponents, meaning that if your partner has like 3 to the queen, the declarer doesn't have to guess anymore whether they're going to finesse or drop it. Your partner could have 4 to the king jack or 4 to the queen nine, and it's just going to compromise your partner's holding in the suit. In addition, it gives up a tempo, meaning you may have had to lead your side's suit to get your tricks developed. For example, if you look at your hand, imagine your partner with the king jack of diamonds and declare with 3 little diamonds and the dummy with the ace. You need to knock out that ace of diamonds so that you guys can cash 2 diamonds when you eventually come in with one of your aces, because declare is going to knock out one of your aces to try and set up dummy's tricks, because we know dummy probably has a decent hand because it's gone 3 hearts all pass, and we don't exactly have the best hand in the world here. So you led a singleton trump, and that we discussed why that's, opening lead. We said it's not easy, and opening leads are educated guesses, and over a sample of one, anything may turn out to be the winner. But over the long run, the more educated guessing your leading is, the better results you'll have. So the one thing that was very positive, though, is we discussed why you led it, and you said that you considered a spade but ruled it out because you didn't want to lead the ace. You considered a club, didn't want to lead up because you didn't want to lead the ace, and considered a diamond, but you thought it was too dangerous to lead from the queen of diamonds because you may end up compromising the whole suit. For example, if one opponent has the king and the other opponent has the ace. So the important point is that you had a thought, you had a plan for why you did what you did. And that's the most important thing. Well, I was discussing this with someone again after the game yesterday, and they said with their students, they just want to make sure that they're not guessing or giving up or just leading the card closest to their right thumb. Uh, Make sure you have some plan, even if the plan might be a bit flawed. It's some plan, and you're thinking and playing for something. So that was great. I did like that. Okay, we're gonna go back to board 5, and hopefully you can see all these. There we go. So this was another good one I want to mention. Lots of good ones, and then we'll get to some areas of improvement. So you overcalled 1 heart with this hand when they opened 1 club. Perfect. That's exactly what you should do. You shouldn't make a takeout double with 12 points and 5-3 in the majors. You should overcall your 5-card major. Even if you had 4 spades, I would still overcall 1 heart. Okay? Always important to overcall your 5-card major as opposed to making takeout doubles. It's different when it gets to the 2 level and the 3 level. It's different if you have a very strong hand that you're going to take another call with. But this is perfect for 1 heart. I then bid 2 clubs. Your partner bid 2 clubs, which shows a limit raise or better in hearts, like 10 or more points, 3 or more hearts. So it was back to you, and you recognized that your overcall may have been 7 or 8 points, and you have a full ace or so better than that. So you knew that you couldn't just bid 2 hearts. That would be under describing your hand. So you decided, for lack of a better thing to do, to jump to 3 hearts, to say, I'm better than minimum. I don't have enough to big game all on my own, but I'm better than minimum. And that was the perfect description. That was great. And I had an easy raise to 4 hearts. I had 15 points. And you had no trouble taking the obvious 10 tricks. So well done on that one. And we're going to go on number 6. This one I wanted to chat about because this one is maybe a little bit more of an advancing concept. And you count your points and you see you have 18, 19 points here. You open 1 heart, perfect. You're not strong enough to open 2 clubs. Even though if I pass, you may miss a game. If I have, for example, a doubleton diamond and 4 little hearts, or the queen of clubs, you may be able to make 4 hearts. But I really like opening 1 heart because the auction is extremely unlikely to go all pass, especially when you have a singleton spade. And opening 2 clubs is very difficult to get both of your suits across with sort of the limited space that you have. So one heart is perfect. It went takeout double by South. I passed. So when I pass a takeout double like that, generally I won't have 7 or 8 points. I'll have less than that. If I have 8 or 9 points, I'm going to bid something. I'm going to either support your hearts, I'm going to bid one no trump, I'm going to bid one spade, I'm just going to bid something. And of course, if I have 10 or more points, I would redouble. So right away, you peg me at like 0 to 6 or 7 points. The north hand bid one spade, and now is back to you. You chose to bid two diamonds. I'm perfectly fine with that. You already heard your partner pass, and you just want to start getting your other suit in. If you had decided to jump to three diamonds, that would have also been okay. But two diamonds is totally fine. The next hand, I believe, bid two spades, and now your partner bid three diamonds. So your partner passed the first time, so probably not 7 or 8 points, but now they're coming in and raising you vulnerable to the 3 level, your second suit. You technically had only shown four diamonds. You're likely to have five, but you'd only shown four. So your partner for sure has at least four diamonds. They probably don't have a ton of high card points. We've already discussed that. But what you need to do now is instead of counting points, you have, say, 19, and you know a minor suit game is supposed to have around 29 points to make 11 tricks. So you right away thought, we don't have game in diamonds because my partner can't have 10 points. But in these more distributional hands, the point count is less important, and the shape and the fitting honors and the fit in trumps is more important. So what I want you to do with a hand like this, where you have one spade loser, you have one club loser, maybe two club losers, and when your partner shows four or more diamonds, you probably don't have a diamond loser. Even if partner has four little ones, the suit may break 2-2. Partner probably won't have four little diamonds to be raising you vulnerable to the 3 level. And you also want to consider that partner probably doesn't have three hearts, or they may have been supporting you in hearts. So what I want you to do is visualize the dummy you would receive in diamonds. Okay, spades, who knows, who cares? Probably four of them, and doesn't really matter what they are. Probably one or two hearts. And what that means is that your ace king are going to take care of dummy's hearts, and you can ruff your hearts in the dummy for extra tricks and then to set up your heart suit. Partner probably has four or more diamonds. And then in clubs, you would be extremely happy if partner delivered the queen, and you would be over the moon if partner delivered the ace, because that would just mop up your club loser, right? So you can kind of visualize, I mean, if your partner has the ace of clubs and five little diamonds, you are going to make slam. You are going to make six diamonds. Okay. So I want you to, and that's 4 points. Envision and a hand like this, where you have a spade loser, a club loser, and basically that's it. I want you to start placing cards in your partner's hand and how that would look like meshing with your hand and how many tricks you'd make as opposed to counting points. So here I would bid again with your hand over three diamonds. I would bid probably five diamonds. It's probably too much to try for slam. I mean, you could cubid their suit. You could cubid three spades to say, hey, I have a real mountain, and I know you didn't open two clubs, so you are somewhat limited in that capacity. But I would definitely bid again with this hand. As what happened was you passed, and they bid three spades, and then went past you, and you could have bid again as well, but we ended up passing out three spades and ended up I think defeating it a trick or whatever. But it was a very poor score because we can make game in diamonds. As it turns out, I actually did have three little hearts with you, which I almost was impossible. But I decided to raise you with a 4-card diamond suit and three hearts, because you were likely to be 5-5 at least, and I thought this was a part score deal. Right, I wasn't aiming for 4 hearts. I thought it was a part score deal, and I wanted to play in the longer fit, the better fit, because I thought there was a better chance of us making that contract. Right, I didn't know you had 19 points, which is totally fine. You could have had a 5-5, 14 points or something, and then 3 diamonds is where we belong to compete to. So that was that deal. So just not just counting points, but especially the more distribution and shape you have and catch a fit, you've got to start placing cards in partner's hand. What would that look like as my dummy to decide whether to bid again or not? Okay, deal number 7. You had a big hand. You had 21 high card points, and they sort of stuck it to you here. It went pass, pass. They opened 2 diamonds weak on your right. You have 21 points, balanced hand. The mainstream way to treat this hand is just to start with double. A 2-no overcall would be 16 to 18 type of thing, and anything stronger than that, you just have to start with double. If you had a big hand but tricks, you could overcall 3-no trump, just saying, I think I'm going to make 3-no trump. So here you have to double. Whatever I bid, you're just going to then bid no trump. So if I bid 2 spades, for example, you bid 2-no trump. And that says, I had a hand that was too strong to overcall 2-no trump. And we'll go from there. Whether or not we'll get to the right contract or not is a different story. My hand, just for what it's worth, was a very weak hand with 4 spades and 6 clubs. I'm going to show you the whole hand though, because you did overcall 2-no trump and it went all pass. So I'm going to try to shrink the screen here, show you the whole hand. So bear with me a moment. Okay, almost there. There we go. Almost there. Sorry about that. Okay, perfect. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. So the defense, of course, led a diamond. And the easiest way to defeat you is to simply, for North to simply duck the diamond. He can put in the 10 or the 9, and you're forced to win your queen, and then you're toast. Because as soon as one of the opponents gets in, they're going to play another diamond and cash 5 diamonds, plus the trick that they got in with is 6 tricks, maybe even another trick somewhere else, who knows. So what they did though is they won the ace and king of diamonds and played a 3rd diamond. So you win your queen, that's your first trick. The problem is that you know North now has 3 diamond winners to cash if they ever get in. And that's going to defeat you because they're going to take 5 diamonds and the 1 trick that he gets in with. So what you have to do, and you know this because South is shown out and North opened 2 diamonds, is you have to take every single effort to keep North from gaining the lead. It's simple. That's all you can do. So your only chance in this contract is to go after the club suit. And that's what you should do anyway, because clubs is your best and most likely chance at extra tricks. So all you can do on this deal is cash the ace of clubs, just in case there's some singleton king out there with either opponent, South or North. And once both follow low, play the queen of clubs. That's all you can do. And your hope is that South has to win this trick because you know they have no more diamonds. And your hope is that they actually have to win this trick and not be able to duck the queen of clubs and win the next club, because then you'd never get to the dummy. Luck would have, fortune would have smiled upon you today because South would have had to win the king of clubs. And no matter what they play, you're going to take 1 diamond, and 5 clubs is 6, and 3 hearts is 9, and the ace of spades is 10. So it's just recognizing which suit is A, safest, and B, most likely to produce the most tricks. You ended up playing a spade out of your hand, and that didn't really give you much of a chance because even if South had both the king and the queen, it wasn't really going to help you. And when North won his honor, that was it. They cashed all their diamonds, and then they still got the king of clubs for a couple down. Okay, so that was number 7. We're going to jump ahead to 15, and I'm going to make the screen a bit bigger now. Bear with me. Okay. So I'm not one to uh, use bridge rules. I'm not really a rules guy. Rules are made to be broken. I think rules are kind of a crutch for newer players that they see a situation and they just want to make a rule for that situation and not have to think. My philosophy is I want you guys to think and see situations and just put those situations in your memory bank and still be able to think about every 7 minute puzzle that we deal with and creatively try to solve the problems using those past experiences and past tools that you have. So this one, I, I'm going to give you a sort of rule, which of course you can break, and that's totally fine. But when your partner opens a weak two in a major, okay, your partner opens two hearts or two spades, and assuming you're just a normal down the middle pair with preempts, and you're not some crazy pair that's going to be doing it on 5 card suits all the time and that thing, but you just a normal weak two bid. If you have 4 card support for your partner, you should generally bid game. You should generally just jump to 4 of the major, whether your hand is weak or strong. Okay. If your hand is weak and you get defeated, the opponents almost surely will be able to make something. A 10 card fit is extremely powerful. Okay. And it's a 10 card fit is more powerful when it's 6-4 as opposed to 5-5. And the reason for that is that the 6 card hand is going to have fewer losers, right? They could have an extra singleton. They're only going to have 7 cards in the other 3 suits, so one fewer loser to take care of than if they were divided 5-5. So when your partner opens weak 2 hearts or 2 spades and you have 4 of them, just close your eyes and bid game. Okay, that's my advice. So that would have worked wonders on this hand because you would have bid 4 spades and we actually would have gone down one. This particular deal was hilarious. It was against one of our favorite players, right, Emerald? Hint, hint, wink, wink. And basically, I opened 2 spades. It went pass, pass. The passed hand south made a few comments and balanced 3 hearts. It went pass, pass. Emerald bid 3 spades. The more comments from the south player, pass, pass. 4 hearts, more comments, more comments. We defended 4 hearts, and it turns out we couldn't defeat it, unfortunately. So that wasn't good. And 4 spades turns out would have been down one. And the reason these contracts, both sides had a 10 card fit, usually that means both sides are going to make their 4 level contract. But today, both of them actually went down one on 4 hearts made because each side had King Doubleton of trumps opposite a singleton. So each side had the king of trumps, which was completely useless on offense, but took a trick on defense. So that's why our two 10 card fits ended up only taking 18 total tricks as opposed to 20 total tricks for those law of total trick fans out there. And I think we're going to go to our last one here. Have we done this one yet? Oh, we did this. We did 21 already. Okay, so that's it. We've done 7, 6, and 5. Wonderful. That's it. Perfect. So that's the end of our little analysis. It was a ton of fun, and I know, Emerald, you are going to be soaking up everything like a sponge, as I said. And anytime we do our little online lessons and games and play very slowly against robots, and you talk things out, you're just gonna learn very quickly and get better quite quickly. And bridge gets more enjoyable as you improve, like anything. But bridge is just, as long as it's enjoyable while you're playing and learning, that's really the most important part. Okay, so I'm going to start doing these again in the summertime with the juniors, any juniors that I play with. So feel free to hit me up if you're in the Toronto area or near the Toronto area and you want to play at the club one day in the summertime when you're off school. Please let me know and we can do that. And otherwise, if you're out of town and you want to play for a little bit online or something like that, happy to do that as well. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye.